You're listening to The Word on the Streets with Joe Bingham, Jason Tasker, and Raj Pujata.
Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to The Word on the Streets. I'm here with Joe, here with Raj.
Yo.
Pow, pow, pow. And I'm here with Mike. He's our editor normally, but we've got him in because it's only right, seeing as he basically does all the work.
Not often on time.
Not often on time, but that's just pretty much like our whole lives not running on time. So that's absolutely fine. Do you really want to just talk about what you do? Or yeah, it's not. Is that? Do you want to?
I don't know. I don't really like editing, which is a weird thing. It's like not the first time I put myself forward or something like this.
So basically, just punishing yourself at this point.
I don't know why. I haven't really got time for it, and then I don't love doing it. I used to do it loads. I used to be a self-shooter. You make loads of content for gyms.
Self-shooter, is that something like a school shooter, upset people just like...
Yeah, so it's like...
technically anyone's...
No, that's what they do at the end.
Suicide are self-shooters.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Which is what it probably feels like when you're editing this shit.
Yeah, it is painful. Like, I used to hate editing, so but you're like good at it, so at least it must happen faster.
Yeah, it's fast. It's just that like an hour-long show usually takes about 3 hours.
Cool.
So that's how much of my time you get every week.
Yeah. To be fair, when I put the beacon out when we started this, and I was like, do I know anyone that knows any editors or anything? And you messaged me, and you were like, why have you not just asked me? And I stupidly was like, because I just thought you work in TV, and it like I didn't know it had transition. You know, I thought you were too big time, basically.
I'm absolutely not. That's part of the problem.
But he absolutely wishes he did say he was too big time.
Yeah.
I would love to be far too busy and successful to edit this podcast, especially now that we're like almost 20 episodes in.
We would love to be successful enough to not do a podcast.
Yeah. I actually enjoy this. This is like one of the highlights of my week, so maybe I need to get more interest in life.
It's cathartic, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you do on...
I'm a location manager.
So you find places to record stuff?
So literally, for example, today I'm working on reshoots for a feature film where they shot it in the US and in Croatia, and they have this scene where there's all the world leaders in the G7 summit kind of thing, and then all this news, it's like an espionage film, and all this news comes in about this big thing that's happening, and they go into a side room to have a conversation. They shot the big summit bit in this big impressive hall, and then because of time constraints, they just shot the other conversation in a side room in that hall. And they're like, we put it in the edit, hate it. So we need to completely find something that matches, feels architecturally like it's in that room, but we need to shoot it in London in somewhere a bit more interesting.
What, the actual building rather than the room? So they've got the room, but then they need the aesthetic around it.
So it's the room itself.
The room itself.
Yeah, so because of basically, you're shooting however many... I think we shoot something stupid like... Each day you get about 5 minutes worth of screen time. It's terrible. The amount of work you put in, the amount of time it takes to shoot something is like vast in comparison to what you get out of it. So they just needed to pick it up, and because they just squeezed it onto that day, so they were just making do with the location that's on site. So then what I've been doing for the past 4 days is driving around hotels, theatres, private members clubs. I was in the British Society, like the Royal Society of Chartered Architects or something like that today. So like loads of mad buildings just to try and find like a really cool wooden clad room that feels like it's East Coast US, but that could be blacked out so it could be shot during the day, but as if it was night. So you get basically a list of things and then a budget, and then I just knock doors, walk into places.
And you got like a catalogue you can just...
Yeah, so there's location libraries that you work with as well that try and catalogue all that, and then they charge you a fee when you book through them. I also have my own that I just, every single time I'm on a job. My first ever job that I did was Stathlet's Flats.
Yeah.
So because of that, I'm really, really good at finding houses. Because I just know like the technique of just walking into someone's house, not when the front door's open like that TikTok lad, but like knocking the doors or just letters or whatever the strategy is to get a shitload of houses all within the same area or same road.
Speaking of that, what would you do if that guy walked into your yard?
Well, I didn't know this guy.
What? So there's this guy, he'll just be on TikTok, right? And he'll just go walking into random people's houses. We outside, and then he'll just run into people's houses.
Yeah. What? And then what will they do?
He'll see a door
in their
open.
living room.
He'll
go in their kitchen.
Yeah, he walks in and you can hear that like the mum's doing like gardening out the front, isn't she? And they walk in and go straight into the back of the house, and the dad's coming up the stairs, and he's like, Nah, I've got kids. Like,
He was
what's
very
going
calm
on?
though.
He was very calm, but you could hear. That
That's
he was
fucking
panicking
weird.
a bit, 'cause there was, like,
What would you do though?
3 lads in his house.
I just
been
feel
arrested.
that's
Yeah,
good.
He had to
Like
hand himself in
because
to the
that
police.
could like really, for example, my girlfriend, like that would really scare her, and it would scare her not to the point where it would just be like a one and done. It would probably scare her for like
How did
a
you
few weeks.
Like, can you picture the guy I'm talking about? What are you imagining in your head?
Just some guy, like just some weedy white guy. I don't know. Is that what he looks like? Or...
No, I'm just curious what you pictured because you've never seen it.
Trying to
But
get
no,
cancelled.
Right, you're trying to like say I was like saying I was trying to racially profile someone. Like no, I wasn't. Oh, that's not what I was picturing. Because I imagine that's the type of person that would just have the audacity to do that. I think that there's no recourse at the end of it.
It raised an interesting point though. Like people online were basically saying like, where do you draw the line for clout these days? Like clout is such a currency for people at the minute of trying to go viral as quickly as possible. Like where do you draw the line? Like this kid, he's a young lad.
bruv, he's a
What does he
father.
look? What does he look like?
He's a father. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like 16.
He might
Yeah,
be, but
I mean,
his
it
dad-
still works.
But like,
Yeah, that's pretty standard from where I'm from. Like 16, dad.
but like, he's gonna have a criminal record now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what does he look like out of interest?
He's like he just looks like a
Skinny black guy?
Yeah, he might be.
Oh,
He
okay.
might be early 20s. I don't know.
I think
Bit
wasn't he in school uniform or his mates were in school
Yeah,
uniform?
but so was
Was
Chicken
he?
Connoisseur back in the day, and it turns
That's
out he's
true.
about 35, isn't it?
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So like, he could be older, but he just looks like a small black school kid, basically.
So
Oh,
what,
okay.
what if he what would you do? He rocked into the yard. Bear in mind, he doesn't touch you or anything. He just says like,
I mean, yeah, that'd be even weirder, wouldn't it, if he did?
The sitting on the couch was bold.
yeah.
Because he goes in and then the dad kind of comes up to follow him out. It's very much like one of these East London townhouses that are like 3 floors up or whatever. And then as he's coming back, because the dad's coming the other way, he then goes into the living room and sits down. Weird.
And all his mates
beautiful
are stood
house
in the
though, isn't it?
doorway.
Lovely house. I shot in one recently that was like that. And it was
Were you just like, oh, we can film something nice in
Yeah,
here?
it's nice.
But then if you were like someone who robs houses, you could just look at all his TikToks and go, looks like they've got some decent clobber in their house. I'll go snuck in.
Could do.
But you could do that with anyone's Facebook pictures in their house, couldn't you?
I told you, didn't I, where I was looking out of my beautiful view in the last couple of days onto Lidl car park from my amazing apartment in southwest London.
Do you ever look at Little Car Park?
Yeah, I
I
do.
bet you've seen some action.
See some
Little car park.
absolute crazy shit in that car park. I've seen everything from people stealing stuff from TK Maxx and then pulling it out of their jumpers and then trying everything on in the car park and then just leaving everything in the car park and then going and looking in the window and going, yeah, look pretty good, and then walking off. I've seen people selling bees in the car park. Bees.
Like Bumble.
I thought it was like a drug deal going off, and then they opened the box and some bees started flying out. Next thing you know, he gave him like the suit. So yeah, he was selling bees in the car park. And then
Gave him a beekeeper's suit.
mate, I didn't know what the fuck. I was like, there's a drug deal going down here.
No, 'cause
I was doing like a proper middle class, but I was trying like middle class. Like, there's a drug deal going down
You'd
here.
want to know what was going on there, though, wouldn't it? If
Yeah,
you
I did. I had
racked
to
open
sit
a
around
case
and
of
watch.
bees
It's
and
got
a
that pure
beekeeper's
Manuka
suit.
hookup.
Yeah, like-
Hey, beavers, that
Got the
bad.
good shit.
It was on that Manuka thing. Yeah, and it was, and then another time, there's been someone was stashing stuff in the bin, and again, I thought this, maybe watching that like drug deal going off happened a few times. Next thing you know, Lidl security chasing someone across a car park. So that was like the guy was just like going in and out of Lidl robbing stuff. But yeah, this week I was just settling down for the evening, dusk, not even dark yet. And there were three,
I was setting the scene now.
three,
Like,
yeah,
nice.
You
dusk.
can't say the word ting and then use dusk to describe the scene.
Yeah, but I say it ironically.
Such
You've
a
got to understand
wide-ranging
that.
vocab that you
Yeah, I say it
On that
ironically.
golden hour thing, you know?
Yeah, it's that golden hour thing. So it was like dusk. It was a dusk thing, and the sun was setting, and there was people still milling around, people coming home from work, people walking the dogs, and there were 3 youths, because that's what we'll say. But they were in full like black attire with masks on, ballies on, hats on, and they were on those electric bikes. And there were 3 of them just circling around the car park, and then they were looking in cars with a flashlight to see which cars to rob.
That's why I won't live south of the river.
I've never seen anything like that in my life, but I was impressed by they'd obviously thought it out. One of them had the backpack with the gear in. they were pretty fast, those bikes. I don't think you're catching anyone.
I don't think it's hard to figure out how to rob stuff from a car. I don't think it's much of a master plan.
Yeah, but they look really well organised. I was quite impressed. I was like,
because they had bikes and a backpack.
Well, those,
Yeah, but
those
they look-
bikes go pretty
yeah, but do you know what I mean? They were doing like the
fast.
triangle formation. Like it looked. They knew what they were doing.
That,
There's
those
always someone to
bikes.
pass to.
Someone,
One of these has got bees in.
Yeah. Where is it? Where's the honey?
they had a fucking police chase or something in Wales today. Did you see
Well,
this?
they've said it wasn't.
Have they even
Yeah,
got?
they said it wasn't, but it was on
What, they've
these
got police in
electric.
Wales.
Two
They got
teenagers.
these electric bikes, and they were like in pursuit. They say they weren't in
Yeah.
pursuit, and then they killed him.
Yeah,
killed who?
two teenagers crashed a scooter.
You're cutting bits out.
Yeah.
They just killed him. They killed him.
What? Yeah, I feel like you skipped a lot of the story. Then it like cut out, and then you came in at the
I think there
end.
was an accident between but there was like a collision between the car and the bikes, right?
Yeah, but they were.
Yeah.
That's.
And then, I mean, the kids died.
Basically what I did was
You heard that
I said
they
long.
rolled down the window. Keep it steady in his fucking shit.
I just said long
Tasered
story
the shit out
short.
of them.
I said long story short.
Long story short, there was a riot in Cardiff, basically.
Oh yeah,
they get-
there was a
after,
riot.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, was
yeah,
it right
yeah.
after? Like, kind of. Wow. Okay.
I like. Do you remember the London riots?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Do you remember the lad with the basmati rice?
Yeah.
What a guy.
What did
a guy.
what did that guy do?
I went-
Mate, I feel like
got
do
arrested
I
as
just
well.
miss news?
Yeah.
I went into the thick of it. I just went to watch. I like watching stuff. Sometimes I just follow police cars.
I was in Birmingham watching
see
it on
what
the
happened.
news, feeling quite safe and happy about the whole thing. Because it felt like it was a film in Birmingham. You know, these things happen just about far enough away.
Yeah, but it came up
You
to
watch
Birmingham.
it.
came
Yeah, it was
up to
everywhere.
Birmingham.
Yeah, but I lived in Kings Heath. That was a long
Yeah,
way away
true.
from me. You know,
Because
it's
I
nice and
remember
quiet where I was.
when it came up to Birmingham, there was a lad that I played football with, and I remember it was on like Midlands Tonight, like on the news, and they all looted the Nike store, no, the Adidas store that was next
They
to the
went into
ball ring.
Hatman and size.
Oh yeah, Hatman got
All the usual
yeah,
suspects.
but they raided the Adidas store, and this kid comes out with like just shoe boxes underneath his arms, and still to this day, that was my mate Wooly that I used to play football
Really?
with, and every one of us like took photos of it on the screen, and we're like, "You looted Adidas?" And he's like, "Nah, that weren't me." Man, I had no alibi. And we all had his photo, and we're just like, "That's you."
Did he get
Did he get caught?
Nah.
So you just all right, cool. Just want to drop his name in
I feel
there.
like
Yeah.
in Birmingham they just kind of left it, didn't they? They were like, insurance will cover it.
They-
We're glad it's not as bad as it is.
They
down
hired
there.
one of the big riot water cannons.
Yeah.
And they just parked it outside Selfridges. They went, "That's all we've got that needs
Yeah.
protecting." They put
Yeah,
it
yeah.
outside Selfridges, and when we can't afford that loss,
If we lose
but we
one
can
of these
lose
discs,
Hatman.
Yeah, Hatman can go, but these discs are very valuable.
Oh,
These
yeah.
little shiny discs.
I think we're
that
due a
was
decent riot, aren't we? To be fair, so maybe
What would it
Cardiff
be
should just stop.
over? What's the next London
think
riot?
That's quite a
about?
good question, actually,
Something
because
we'd lose
there's
that
something
we-
on the horizon. Because I feel like as
6G.
a country, generally, we're too like well behaved to properly riot. We don't do it well enough. I don't think. I think there's room for improvement when we do riot.
I think normal people should riot against climate control people.
Against the people, not against climate control.
Yeah, against
Well,
those
as in,
people that block the
don't stop
fucking
oil.
road.
Yeah.
I mean, they were today again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
What,
Get a job.
Was it just Stop Oil or Extinction Rebellion?
I don't give a
Just
fuck
stop oil.
what they
I think they're
are.
all just the same thing at this point.
Extensions off. Yeah,
They piss me the fuck off.
they're not going about it the right way.
Like, glue yourself to your fucking front door. I don't give a fuck. But why you got to block up the road?
Yeah, and isn't glue
I don't
like?
know how none of them have been hit yet.
No, so this builder got
One of
out
them
of his
did
car
today.
today and he fucking threw one of them and he got nicked for it.
And is glue biodegradable? Like, is that really
That's
the
going
right
straight
thing
into the
to?
ozone.
Exactly, it's probably not the right thing to use.
Horsehair. Look, it wasn't glue made out of horsehair.
Oh, is that
wasn't
why
it?
they're like,
That's the
send
joke
it to
with
the glue factory?
Yeah, that's why the whole joke with the Grand National was to send it to the glue factory.
Ah.
That's why they run quicker, threaten them.
Oh
Is
shit!
that made
Okay.
up then, is it?
No, I think it used to be made out of horsehair. I know.
Like Skittles used to be
Old
made out of
pasta.
beetle legs.
What?
I thought that was a myth.
No,
Skittles are
Smarties. Smarties.
It was the dye for the food colouring was made out of like insects.
Beetle legs.
Do you know
okay.
what? I never believed that was true. I just thought my dad used to say stuff like that to make me stop eating
I'm
sweets.
sure that's a myth. I've seen it somewhere. though.
Beetle legs, though.
Yeah, it's very niche, isn't
And
it?
very
Yeah.
specific.
Yes,
Very-
it is,
I think
isn't
it's
it?
because of the
like
crunch
normally, like
of
parents
the
say, like
Smarties.
Oh, look.
The crunch
The
of the
shell.
Smarties is where the myth comes from.
normally, like parents say, like if you eat carrots, you'll be able to see in the dark. Like whereas yours said,
Do you know where that
don't
came
eat.
from? Do you know where that came from?
Where did that come from?
So, I fucking learned this the other day. I was like, it's one of the best things I've ever learned. It's going to go down very mediocre. But It was something to do with the Second World War. Basically, we'd invented and discovered radar before the Germans had. And they put out this whole publicity campaign to be like, eat carrots, it's good for your eyesight, and it'll help you spot German planes at night. And the whole thing was to cover up why the British became very, very good at spotting German planes. Because we discovered radar. Check it.
Oh, okay, that's quite
I
interesting.
think it's right. It was on Twitter in a very detailed thread.
Oh,
But it
so it
sounds
was
like
like a
something-
decoy to
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
oh, we don't have radar, but we can
Yeah.
see it.
So like then the
not so bad.
Germans suddenly just start like eating loads of carrots, and they're like, "Why can't we see the planes?"
So instead of being like, what the hell are the British doing? Let's get the spies to figure out why they're finding all of our planes.
Yeah, but
we
it's
did
not-
this thing like, eat carrots.
That's
and
why
look
they
at
lost the
sky.
war, because they went. It probably is the carrot thing,
Yeah,
you know.
the
It probably
carrot.
is that. We
Yeah,
won't
but
do
carrot-
any investigation.
No, but carrots will make your eyesight better, right? Because
I think it's
got the
keratin or something like that in
keratin,
it
yeah.
that helps keep your vision for longer, but it won't make it better.
They did mad clever stuff though, like in World War II. Like there's the whole thing about them dumping tons of like fake currency over Germany to try and crash their economy and stuff like that. And like just mental shit, but most of it got blown away in the wind. But like they were just like, oh, that's an idea. We'll try
Yeah.
that.
So we got to use coins, innit?
Yeah, but you know,
Coins are always good.
bit of damage that.
What would you use as a guerrilla tactic if you were in in the
ultimately
midst of war?
Ultimately, we resorted to burning Dresden to the ground, didn't we? Just for bants, like. But that was did you watch like World War II in colour?
Yeah, I've watched all of
That's
those
sick.
series.
I've seen it in
Yeah,
bits and bobs. I'm more of a Pacific and Band of Brothers kind of guy.
Yeah,
myself.
our Band of Brothers is great.
I like their production value.
Yeah.
have you watched the Vietnam War documentary?
The
The one by Ken Burns. That's
Absolutely
unbelievable.
incredible.
That puts like
So good.
that's like different level. It's
So
pretty
what
dark.
was my guerrilla tactic though?
Yeah,
In war.
to like say like one of them's to destabilize the economy. Well, I think like maybe I'd go for something like knock out all of their like servers or something like that, like a malware attack.
I think Escobar had it pretty spot on, didn't he? Just kidnappings. Like, that
Kidnappings.
Was, that was how
You
he
just
did
kidnap
it. innit?
high-profile
it was,
people.
Yeah, it was just like, right, I need to get the police on board. So he just kidnaps all their families, and then he's like, "You want to see your families again? Maybe."
Well,
let
so
me
like
do
now,
what I
like
want to do.
you're gonna bell up Zelensky and say, "Look, I think you should just kidnap Putin and just see what
Yeah,
happens."
that's the point. You won't get close to them, bro.
Yeah, how could you get? How would you infiltrate
Inside
him?
man,
Yeah, you
inside
just get
man.
Tom Cruise, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And he'd sort it out.
Bridge of Spies kind of thing, innit? You know what I mean?
I feel like Tom Cruise. Like if a world war new world war happened and everyone got drafted, I would actually back Tom Cruise to do something mental enough.
What do you mean if everyone got drafted?
You know, like in World War II when people were like sent to war.
What, you're
like,
saying if there's a big war, I'm going to get called up?
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
You'd be
have
like
one
a
of them.
gunner
You'd
or
have
something
the
like
bandage
that.
around your arm, innit?
The fuck would I do? I'd be dead in 30 seconds.
No, you
mate.
wouldn't. You could be like a gunner or something like that.
What's
I
that?
could see you in a tank.
Like in a tank.
I
Oh,
see
no.
you in a tank.
Serious leg, man.
Yeah, or on a ship.
I can't even play Call of Duty, bro.
Yeah,
I
you
see
don't
on
need
a ship.
to, do you? I think that's the future. I think they'll get all people who are good on computer games, and they'll just be the people
Drones.
with the drones doing the robots and fucking firing everyone
Yeah, they tried doing that to me when I was like 15.
or
16.
grooming you.
Yeah, we went. Now there was.
Oh, I thought you were saying. I was going to say, what did I miss?
Nah,
You
they-
get
Yeah,
drafted at 15.
he got drafted
Nah.
at 15 to be like a
just
cod. They saw him on cod and they were like, "This guy's got
You
potential."
remember they used to do like the recruitment drives where
Yeah.
like the army had come
Yeah.
around the schools
They'd
where
ignore
people
me.
weren't doing
Yeah,
too
like,
well.
do you want to die?
Yeah. It was
Have you got
never-
no prospects?
Yeah, it was never the good schools. It was
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't one of-
you're probably not going to be killing it in life.
I'd walk
so
past
do
and be
you
like,
wanna-
the enemy,
Yeah.
the enemy.
Have you heard of this role called cannon fodder? It's a good career.
Yeah, but these guys, they like set up a trailer in like a sports field, and it was like it was just like a shooting range kind of thing, but like just with a big screen. And like me and my mates were sick of it because we played Call of Duty as kids, and they were like, "You've got real promise," and we were like, "I'm not joining the fucking army." Like, go away.
I know I've got promise. That's why I'm going to stay in
It sounds
Yeah,
like the
that's-
start of a Hollywood blockbuster, doesn't it? Like Joe's just there on the field and it's just like hitting a few targets. Next thing you know, he's killing man in Afghan.
Listen,
Listen,
you know,
man, in
Man,
Afghan.
we had,
Poet.
we had a lot of people from my school who did. Yeah.
Kill
a
man
lot-
in Afghan.
Yeah, a lot of them did. Too.
Yeah, I know
Awesome.
people who went to like. The problem was though, none of them enjoyed it that much.
Oh, yeah, I heard it's a right.
I had a mate who loved that. Genuinely, like loved it.
Really,
That's the spiders, man. They got the mad spiders.
Yeah,
no?
no.
Nah,
camel spiders.
I think it's for
Yeah.
everyone that you know, like that dies. Like, there's a lot of people that get like injuries that are just like life changing.
Lieutenant
I did a
Dan.
gig for veterans on last week, and yeah, they're not. You can see the trauma.
And even if you come, it's all the whole. It's not even the physical stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh no,
exactly.
like the way they talk and stuff is so different to how they would have. I think, like one guy would look, he looked like your typical what you would describe as the leader of the EDL,
Really?
and he's like just a slow, like looks absolutely normal, but when he starts talking, it's like the slowest, broken. That's all just from fucking trauma, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's mad that they only came up with like what PTSD is known as now, like after Vietnam, though, isn't it? Yeah. Like before that, they were like, it's shell shock.
You're just a bit shell shock. You're a bit sad.
Shell shock.
Pull yourself
even
together.
After Vietnam, they like acknowledged it and then just ignored it for ages. Even the ones that came back with legs missing, it's like a really weird lost generation, the Vietnam soldiers, because none of them wanted to go in the first place, and then by the time they came back, everyone kind of hated them. It was the first time historically the Americans had lost a war. So they were the guys that went and failed the war, and then they came back and they're like, oh, we're really sad. It's like, well, we don't like you anyway.
Isn't there? It's a song, isn't it, where it talks about the average age of the American soldier at the Vietnam War was 19, which is wild.
And they're all from like shitty parts of America.
Yeah,
like,
the areas that felt obliged to go
and
fight for their country but didn't really know why.
Yeah, or people that just didn't have an education to be able to
Also,
not go.
You watch a lot of TikTok, so you might have seen this. I've been seeing videos like a few weeks ago.
It's the blue couch.
It's like the.
That's all I've been seeing recently.
What?
Is this blue sofa.
What blue sofa?
The really expensive one.
Oh, the one she cleans.
So it's become. Sorry, I've completely.
No, I've seen this.
My
know the blue sofa.
ADHD pinged off, and I was just like, blue sofa, man. Talk about TikTok more. It's become this whole thing now about like. It's become like it's made it over to Twitter, so it's been destroyed. And it's become this now political split between people that would fix up something on the street and then people that have enough money that they'd never have something secondhand and all that kind of bollocks.
Is it an expensive sofa?
It's an $8,000 sofa. She finds it on the side of the street.
Yeah, I saw that bit, and I saw her clean it. I saw her dad clean it.
Puts it back in the house.
She put the whole Hoover on the sofa. I thought, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
That's not right, is it?
You know, one of them
like,
kicked down.
I'm like, this isn't the 1400s.
I've got a chair because I've got.
Oh, have you? Sorry, Mr. Big Bollocks.
It was the pause after. He was waiting for a pause.
Just think on that.
Tell us about it, mate.
No, because I've got like this old writing desk.
All right.
A biro?
What's he got? His study.
What's it called? A bureau?
A bureau.
It is a bureau.
Bureau,
Yeah. It is a bureau. So it's like dark wood with like a green leather top. So I was like, I want a chair that looks similar to it. Couldn't find one online anywhere. I was
Like a wing back.
Yeah, I was absolutely rat-arsed on the way home from somewhere or other. Missed my stop on the bus, so got off at the one afterwards, and then just so happened as I was walking down the road, I found a brown wooden chair with a green cushion next to a bus stop. Took it home. I woke up in the morning, forgot I'd brought it home, and it needed some serious cleaning, but still use it.
Yeah.
Restored it.
I wouldn't say I restored it; it's falling apart. But like,
Is it? But,
looks
yeah.
the part.
Get a bit of wood glue on it.
Yeah, could do. Just laser.
That's a good.
So are you sitting on it then?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Send us a photo. of it.
I've got a chair.
I knew you'd be interested.
I want the whole setup like it's like the president's desk.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Or I want you there like you're just about to sign a contract for Chelsea. Like
Yeah.
your own chair. This shirt.
Just about to sign a peace treaty with the United Nations.
Then when Trump went on a tirade when he first came into office, I felt like every 5 minutes it was another photo of him holding some fucking folder with some horrible law on it that he just signed.
I don't know who I prefer, him or Sleepy Joe. Like from
Sleepy Joe's did something else rogue yesterday, didn't they?
I can't remember.
He said something weird about soldiers that was just completely his brain had died mid-sentence. And like,
Honestly, I don't think he'll ever top being in Dublin and talking about the black and tans.
Yeah.
That was for me. I was like, who's gonna just take this man out of office and go, come on now, like this is.
If ever a president needed to be assassinated, that would probably be.
He'll do it to himself.
He'll die.
Two
That's what I mean, it was self-assassination.
2 weeks into his term was that video of him just stopping on his bike and then top of it.
Well, I tried to I thought Trump would get assassinated, And I called
I quite like
Ladbrokes.
Trump.
I called Ladbrokes to put a bet on him getting assassinated. But you can't just.
And they took your name down and thought,
Yeah,
fucking
put
hell,
you on
he's
a
going-
watch list
You can't just.
immediately.
You can't just
Aren't we
put.
going to America this year? Maybe cut that.
The most stupid bet.
By
Yes.
the time he gets out of the airport, it's going to be gaping.
Yeah.
You can't put that bet down. So you got to phone him and get specific odds, right?
Or do like an
It's
illegal
on
bet.
the website.
Yeah. So
Live odds. Can you cash out?
I told him. I
In
told
play
him.
with Ray.
He's been shot, but he's not dead yet. Can you cash out?
Ryan's got a gun to his head. What's my cash out right now?
Yeah.
And so I phoned him and I was like, I'd like to put a bet on President Trump to be assassinated. And the guy paused for the longest time and went, yeah, we can't bet on people's lives, and just hung up on me.
Yeah,
I didn't even
Oh, they hung
think
up on you.
about the fact that I was betting on his life.
People do have Deadpools though, don't they? But it's just
I
like
don't
a
think through official
not through
betting
official
channels.
I think it's on a
channels.
chalkboard behind a bar. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like the first
I've
season
seen
of
the
Peaky
film.
Blinders.
Maybe we'll
Yeah.
get one going on here. Like we can put one on the screen or something like that.
I mean, realistically, and it's not nice, but I think realistically, the president everyone expected to be assassinated was Obama.
Yeah.
Like
Between
second,
those two,
the second a black president was put in charge, I was like, "There's going to be a lot."
I feel like Obama would have just dodged the bullet, to be honest.
Pretty
He'd have
slick
caught
character.
it.
He would have, he would have
Spatted
caught
out.
it and then like just gone, oh, okay, carried on.
I bet
Yeah,
you
because
got-
white people are wilder than ethnics, right?
yeah, 100%.
I appreciate I'm outnumbered in this room, and I've just said that out loud.
It's a watch him, man.
you're the one calling up bookmakers trying to bet on getting.
I wasn't going to kill
president
him. Depends on the odds, but I wasn't going to kill him.
Okay, imagine if Raj like had insider information and then he just got banned from the bookies. Like, do you know like when a footballer gets
Inside a trick, he got Ivan
Oh,
Toney.
yeah,
because
like,
he knew something.
but he's done it with like the assassination. You can't bet here for a while, mate. You had inside information on him getting bumped off.
I have been banned from a few betting outlets, actually.
Just being too sick.
Serial winner, yeah.
Story of your life, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Uh,
I had a friend. I say I had a
Stay
friend.
winning, baby.
I knew someone who would regularly bet on the cricket, and that was his job. And you just make an account and you give him your details, and he'd give you like a little cut. And I made like $2,000 from it. I think he made like 25.
Yeah, because he
But
got
just
banned,
took
right?
over the account, and then the account gets banned. And he takes the
Yeah, but then it makes you think, okay, well that's that account in my name that I can never use again. It's probably against some
but
kind
also
of
it's
score.
like, that's his life as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's just dead, and it just.
I know someone who does that for a living as well, and it's just a bit like they're showing you all the bets on their phone, and then they're like, I'm like, you're addicted to gambling, then, aren't you? No, I'm not. I'm not addicted to gambling. It's like you're addicted to gambling. Like,
like the only people that are
you're doing it as a
No,
job.
they've got it as a science, though, haven't they?
Yeah.
The way they bet is they will either win small or they will win big, but they'll always win.
Yeah, because
That's
Not
why
always win.
That's why the bookies close their
but
accounts.
but at the same time, you're still addicted, aren't you?
no, because
No, you're addicted to money, if anything.
Yeah, because I used to work with a guy, and his thing was you bet every weekend on the football, but you only back bets that are evens.
It's like match betting.
Yeah, it's like you only back bets that are evens. Then every week that you lose, you just double what you put on the next week. Because at some point you'll win, and because it's evens, you'll just double whatever you've bet, essentially, or whatever it is. Or
I feel like there's too much football going on.
it's too many variables.
Yeah, there's far too many. But then people do a lot of like, feel like people who are professional gamblers with football do a lot of like corners and cards and
Yeah.
shit like that.
Oh, I
so
bet
that you
on
can kind of
mad
like
as shit.
this is a relatively disobedient team. They always get a couple of yellows.
I remember.
Whereas scores can go anywhere. Can't
Yeah, I remember feeling like a particularly. It was an unintentional low point of my life, but I remember I was like 22, and I think I'd done some betting for like a football tournament that was on or something. And I had like £1.40 left in my account or something. So I'm sat in the office at like 9:30, and I'm like, I just want to get rid of this £1.40. So then I'm betting on like some dog race in the north of the country at like 9:40, but I kept winning. So I'm just sat at my desk just betting on like the dogs in fucking Droitwich or something. And I was just like, this is bleak now.
That's what I say. It's when you
withdraw it.
Yeah, it's when you're betting on like the Serbian league.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or the
I was
worst
doing
one.
a bit of that.
random.
Yeah,
The
in
worst one, the
past, yeah.
virtual
think that's-
horse racing.
Yeah.
You're betting
Yeah.
on
It's not
virtual
even real.
horse
It's
racing.
not even
What are you doing?
Yeah, and some of
This
them
all
aren't even
feels a bit
horses. They're
real,
like
guys.
camels. One's a camel, one's a horse.
Yeah.
I've done
One's got
all
a
of
fucking
these things that you're
princess
talking
from
about.
Super Mario Brothers on.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. It's
You may
like,
as well get a Drayton Manor, and you know when you got the camels and you throw the
What?
fucking ball in the hole. Just do that.
That was sick. I love that game.
Yeah, I love
when
that,
you got
yeah.
all the squirty water one instead.
Nah.
Yeah.
you hit 4 a.m. and that's all you can bet on is virtual.
Yeah.
Why
You
are
love a 4
gambling
a.m.,
at 4 a.m.?
Sometimes you can't sleep, man. You got to roll dices.
Stop drinking them
Tenzings.
Tenzings, man. You're gonna ruin your life.
But so you TikTok Blue Couch. But
Yeah.
what really got me into TikTok, like I never used to use it. I hated it, but was the Idaho 4 that got me.
You've been waiting to discuss this with me.
Yeah, because these
It's also kicking off at the moment. We're not kicking off.
What?
It's just like
Was it?
so he's just had his preliminary hearing.
Yeah, what's
He
his
was
name?
Brian Koberger.
Can we give some context to this story to anyone who's listening?
So this was a particular low point in my life because I'd just come off the back of like a big long
Was a high
TV
point of
job.
his.
No, do you know?
This isn't a fucking therapy session.
It wasn't that. No, it's because like my girlfriend was like, and a couple of my friends afterwards were like, yeah, it's because I got so into it that when it all kind of Koberger got caught and they're like, here's the date in June, I was like following Reddit pages, I had Twitter feeds, like all sorts of shit. So like basically I finished a long TV job and I didn't have a new one starting until January. So this was like early November. I was in the US when it happened, so the news had it on a bit, and then I just had nothing else to concentrate on. And then because the news wasn't developing, I was like watching documentaries. I was like fucking deep diving Ralmo, Millie Dowler. I went back into all of them. I did the lot.
But
like,
were you
went-
doing
The
this because
archives.
you were like, I'm gonna solve the case?
No, I just wanted to see it play out.
Okay.
No, I wasn't trying to solve it. I had my theory.
Why did people try and solve that one then?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Also, can I also ask the connection between him and Raoul Moat?
Woody.
No, because you know you start when you. It's the.
Yeah, open a box for Mike.
I watch a shitload of YouTube,
Yeah.
like pay for premium everything, because I watch so much YouTube. So the second that I start watching like Idaho videos, it starts feeding you all the
Okay.
other ones. So there's like an hour-long documentary on Raoul Moat.
What was
I've
the
watched,
trigger
like,
for Raoul Moat?
what do you mean? Oh, what was the trigger of what made him kill
Yeah.
people? He hated police officers. Then he heard that his girlfriend, who he'd broken up with when he went into jail, was dating a police officer. So then when he got out, he like killed this guy who I don't even think was a police officer or like that. And then obviously went on the rampage. And then it's the mad things, the Gaza shit, innit?
Yeah.
That's
that
what
was
made
peak.
it. People remember it a lot more. That was the cultural significance.
Turned up
really.
with fishing rods and a few beers.
Exactly,
I
yeah.
could get him.
Four
And it
Fosters.
The man's got a shotgun.
I want to talk to him. I feel like we'll see eye
Me and
to eye.
fucking Morty
Morty
go.
lad, Morty
Me and
lad.
Morty go way back, man.
I love this country.
It's wild.
That
But
is
then Gaza
crazy.
at the time, like he did an interview a couple of years ago, and he put it together really well. Where he's just like, all of his friends' phones were being tapped. So he was like, imagine what it's like that all your information leaks out all the time, and you get rid of people because you think they've leaked something, but then you think everyone's leaking something, and everyone's like, I haven't told anyone anything, and they're actually telling the truth. But you're not thinking, oh, my phone's being fucking wiretapped. I'm just Paul Gascoigne. I'm not like some random government official like giving out secrets. So it just drove him mental. And then Raoul Moat happened.
Who drove Gaza, man?
Yeah,
Or-
drove Gaza.
Can you imagine, like, listening to Gaza if you tapped Gaza's phone? Like, I'd
Some
love
of
to
the
be a
shit.
fly on the wall. Like, some of the conversation.
Some of the funny, non-relevant stuff must have been amazing.
Yeah, you'd just be there like, this is crazy.
kind of
Just like
stuff
free entertainment, exclusive entertainment.
No,
kind
it's
of
just
stuff-
constant phone calls. You're doing 3 for 1. Yeah.
It's what the kind of stuff that Eubanks gives out for free. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Wild man.
Stupendous confectionery.
A beautiful summer's day.
So this guy, so you were on a deep dive of this case that was going on then. Okay.
So how much did you follow it at the time?
I just scrolled through TikTok and
Okay.
watched every video about it.
So
Where like people had like broken stuff down and pulled evidence
Yeah.
that they'd worked out themselves.
it was a messy period for like TikTok sleuths because there was a bunch of information at the start. Then nothing happened for about a month. Like nothing happened. They were looking for this one car. Nothing happened because eventually, as it turned out, they had tons of information that they hadn't released to the public and were kind of feeding things out to deliberately spook Brian Koberger so he'd make a mistake and do something. So everyone for ages was just like, they're not finding this guy. They've got no idea where he is. They've got no idea who's committed this murder.
Oh
So
wait,
then obviously,
do you know what happened?
I have no idea. I'm trying to pick it up as it goes
Okay,
along.
so-
Someone's murdered someone, and
so-
there's 4 people involved.
Yeah, so it's the University of Idaho, and on their campus they have like, in the US you have like, you have like uni towns and then halls, and then there's kind
Yeah.
of, like Selly Oak in Birmingham, there's areas where all the students live.
Yeah.
They have like uni houses, and in one of them there's these two girls, one girl, 2 girls in the basement, another girl, and then a girl and her boyfriend and then the one was a friend that was visiting back for the weekend. Anyway, someone comes into this house in the middle of the night, murders 4 people. 2 girls in the bedroom upstairs, and then a couple like in the bedroom. And then obviously, so the news rolls out, all this kind of stuff's happened. But I think what caught people's attention, it was a very much a classic like slasher film kind of thing.
Okay.
was a
Young
bit like
people,
Scream.
young people in a uni house, stabbed all over the house.
Phone calls.
Yeah. But also it was done with a knife, all this kind of stuff. Guy in a
nice.
mask running around. Like,
Yeah, guy knows his shit. Yeah, sounds good.
And it had
then-
the imagery as well, didn't it? Of like the next day, the press all turn up to this house, and there's like blood leaking out
Out of the
walls.
house, yeah. There's
So
blood
it's the
leaking
top
out.
upstairs bedroom.
It had
There'd been
everything.
enough blood
Is this a documentary
that was
now
coming
that I
out
can
of the like?
It will be a Netflix documentary,
Right.
100%.
I might have to
But people on
research.
TikTok had like drawn, like you know how you get like interior
Yeah, like
designers
house
draw the
layouts and
inside of
stuff,
the house
floor
I-
plans.
and like where he walked.
Grand designs.
So one of the girls actually saw him, didn't they?
Yeah. So as it all plays out and the information starts coming out, you eventually find out there was 2 girls asleep downstairs in like the basement floor that didn't hear anything and slept through the whole thing. Then, as the information rolls out, it turns out that one girl actually saw him. He walked straight past her. She like cracked the door open because she heard banging and like screaming or muffled screams or whatever. And again, it continues to play out like a fucking horror movie.
'cause that
it's like
bit-
it's mental.
That was the bit that got me. I remember reading an article about kind of like, you know, where is the case now? This was months ago, though. And yeah, that girl was like, she heard some noises. Didn't she say she assumed it was like someone who was staying over had got like a dog or something?
Yeah, so it was a
So,
party house because
yeah.
they're on the same like block as a load of fraternities and stuff like that, and it was known as a party house. Loads of people knew like the key code to the door. You know, like when you
Yeah.
go to an Airbnb and there's the key code. Loads of people knew the key code to the door. The kitchen sliding door was regularly left unlocked. So
Which is
basically,
how
this
he got
guy
in.
had come in, slid his way into the door, murdered these 4 people, and then left and scarpered into the night.
It's quite sad, isn't it?
Yeah. It's grim. And also, it's like, I mean, what? It's a bunch of people that are like 21.
And one of the girl's boyfriends was one of the suspects to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't remember his name.
Just like Scream.
But that's what they always
yeah.
do, isn't it? They always go to partners first.
Yeah, what's the motive?
But like, I think, because wasn't it something to do with was he on an adjacent campus? Or
He was like opposite her house.
So he
wasn't
was in the University of Washington, which the Washington State and where Idaho University is in Idaho State is like literally
Just on the border.
Yeah, it's I think it's 10 miles, so it's like a 30-minute drive away. But he's a like criminology doctorate student. So I think everyone's like always trying to pull off the perfect crime. But the amount of dumb shit that he did, he left the knife behind. And then also his, like, this is like the mad thing, is when they arrested him and they released the warrant that they had to give. So they arrested him in Pennsylvania.
The boyfriend.
Yeah, no, the guy that
that
did
guy.
the
Oh, the actual
it was
guy
at
that
his
did it.
parents' house?
yeah,
wasn't
in
it?
Pennsylvania, because he'd gone home for like, I think it was Thanksgiving weekend.
yeah.
And he'd gone home, and because it was a different state, they had to give some evidence to Pennsylvania to be like, this is why we think it's him, and we want to arrest him. Because they had to get quite a lot of, like, not a SWAT team, but basically a crack team from there to
Yeah.
make sure he didn't leg it. And when that information came out, it was like he'd pinged cell towers all over the place. He went there the next day and drove past and sat in his car outside for 10 minutes. Like, he did all these trips around. He'd sleuthed it out, like, months beforehand, and it's just
Really?
So
wild.
the last I read about it was that they were convinced that he was just like a complete sociopath and a bit of an egotist, and it was the theory of being a criminology student. He thought he knew exactly what he had to do the perfect crime, but then didn't they also find like loads of his search history? Like he didn't even use like incognito. Like he'd Googled all these different things about like, you know, the most effective way of like doing different aspects of his crime and stuff.
and he'd done like a Reddit post about like
Yeah.
how would you pull off the perfect
Yeah,
crime,
yeah.
Like an
all this
OJ
kind of
book.
stuff.
Oh no,
Yeah.
didn't he? There wasn't there another one where he like pretended to be someone else and then said, "Oh, this is how he probably
Yeah,
did it."
Yeah, he
But it
answered
was
his own
him the whole
question.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very strange, and it's just the big thing now more than anything is like it's clearly him. There's some people that don't think he acted alone because there's the like adrenaline and personal fitness side of actually the amount of physical force and exertion that it takes to stab 4 people to death. And there's signs that like
What?
2 of them were definitely
Saying
fucking
what, that you need some like gels to.
You actually have to do quite,
Seems like
gels.
like they need like a water station. After
You
the
think it's
second
hard
one.
to stab 4 people?
He was a high school
You're
athlete,
doing that
though,
like it was
wasn't
experience.
Do you think it's hard to stab 4 people?
Yeah, but was he? He might have been a powerlifter and not an endurance athlete, Joe.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Didn't do CrossFit. More of a curl. Yeah.
Surely not. Because you stab, you weaken, then you come back and kill.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those things that like the adrenaline of the killing the 2 girls upstairs, and then like the amount of energy needed to then continue to fight the 2 people downstairs.
But wasn't that
and
part of the
whatever else,
thing
but I
with
don't know.
the girl that saw him? Was that she cracked the door, he looked at her, and then he started coming towards the door, and she shut it and locked it. And then he was like, fuck this, and just bounced.
For all the information that I know, he just walked past as if he didn't even notice her. Which is also like I could see how like mentally that could be a like blindness kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, like when you've been in a fight at school.
Like in a
Tunnel
trance.
vision, innit?
You're in a fight at school, and 10 minutes later, like you're in a fight, but I couldn't tell you any specific moments when I had my fists clenched and was fighting someone.
Or people are telling you to calm down, but
Yeah.
you're seeing like red
Yeah,
mist.
yeah.
And this was
But
also like
also-
3 a.m. in the morning. He had
also-
like a mask on.
And what was the guy like? Was the guy just like a student then?
He's fighting drunk
okay.
people.
Weird.
He's fighting drunk strength.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
asleep drunk strength.
Yeah.
So he's stabbing them in their sleep. So
Yeah.
I'm not taking tired. It's definitely active.
Well, 2
alone.
of them apparently. I mean, this is the thing. This is what's like interesting about it happening, and obviously it's sad. But like, this is the interesting thing is that as it's playing out now, it's like a Netflix true crime documentary that's happening. It's like having a Yorkshire Ripper thing happen today, and you're like watching it in the news. 'Cause obviously, there was loads of that shit when we were little with like Madeleine McCann, all that kind of stuff. We
Oscar
were quite
Pistorius. That was pretty
Yeah,
pretty
that's
big
true.
one, wasn't it?
small. Yeah.
Madeline's back.
Well, she never left.
You say it like she's coming out with a new album.
She's coming out the reservoir.
God, imagine that. That'd be straight to #1, though.
Would be,
What?
yeah.
What would she call it?
Places
What would
I've been.
Madeline's song be?
I don't know. I put her on Eurovision or something like that.
Yeah, we'd clean up.
She'd bang on Eurovision.
She was if Britain ever needed a winner.
100%.
But would she?
I didn't have what would
What
Madeleine
country would
McCann's
she
song
represent?
be.
She might be Portuguese.
Dual citizenship.
Yeah,
There's,
true.
there's bets that she's Saudi at this point.
Yeah.
Really? You think
well,
she's
it's-
blonde, blue-eyed Saudi?
Yeah, the classics. She blended perfectly.
walking
Everyone
around,
just thinks she's an
walking around
influencer.
Mecca, like just chilling.
Everyone just thinks she's an influencer. She's out there working. She went out there during COVID to work, like all of them did.
You mean Dubai,
Dubai.
not Saudi?
It's that part of the world. It's the Gulf.
The general Gulf.
Saudi's very different to Dubai.
Did you watch, though, because obviously there is the whole thing in the news at the minute of they're searching that reservoir.
So I haven't seen this yet.
So basically,
Is it in
they,
the UK? Sorry.
No, it's in Portugal.
Okay.
So they scrapped all their previous suspects, including the McCanns, and you have to be careful what you say because they love a libel case. And they arrested a German paedophile.
Yeah.
The guy with the van.
Yeah, who was
Yeah.
kicking about in the Algarve for years.
was this
And-
the guy that's always mentioned in the Netflix documentary? That's mentioned like quite a few times.
No,
Yeah,
that's
oh, is
Robert Murat, who was a British expat who lived down the road.
Right,
And
okay.
he had a bit of previous, but nothing came of it.
He's the red shoe gang guy, right?
No.
What's the red shoe
Jerry.
gang?
That's the dad.
Yeah, and one of the guys.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Might be Robert Murat then.
There's a picture of them together
Okay.
in red shoes.
But this guy is he's a German guy that was just cruising around Europe in a van, and he's been arrested and convicted for like numerous.
Yeah, he's in
sex
jail in
offences around
Germany, isn't he?
Portugal. But apparently there was a guy in Germany in a bar with him, and Madeleine McCann came on the news for it being like, oh, it's been 10 years since this happened, and he started bragging to this guy in the pub that he did it, and this guy's like, whatever, you're full of shit. And then he said, nah, I did loads of shit in Portugal, showed this guy a video of him assaulting an old woman in Portugal, and this guy was like, oh, this guy's actually fucking mental, rang the police. So now the police have made him an official suspect in Portugal because you've only got 15 years after a case to do it.
Right.
And he apparently referred to this reservoir, which is it's like a man-made dam about 30 miles away from the resort, and he referred to it as his paradise back in the day because him and his drug dealer used to go there all the time. So they're trawling that at the minute, but apparently they've searched it before years ago and found nothing. But now they're saying, well, we've got another tip
Search
off,
it again, yeah.
so we're going back. But Did you watch the Netflix documentary about it?
Yeah, I mean, when it came out, yeah.
Yeah, a few years ago now. But
Lost its way in the middle a little bit, didn't it?
it did. Because to me, it was like all the compelling evidence was pointing at the parents, which is why the Portuguese authorities were so like, there's a lot of shit you ain't telling them.
And there's some like stat as well, isn't it? It's usually someone that the victim knows or is linked in some way. It's very rarely like a random, I just grabbed you on the side of the street kind of thing.
It is mad though, because that was 2007. So
I remember it scaring the shit out of me as a kid.
scared the shit out of my mum.
Yeah.
So I remember like when we'd gone.
I think my parents were quite happy. They were like, "Let's go to Portugal."
Get rid of this little
Get rid of it.
Yeah,
Kids
we
cost a
can
fortune.
we can lose one.
I remember there being posters in arrivals. Like we were going to Spain or something on holiday, and there was posters in
It's got a
arrivals
chair,
of like
bureau.
missing.
Yeah.
Spanish holidays as a kid.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Flexing today.
I used to go to Devon in a caravan.
But it was I remember there being like missing posters all over airports and stuff like that. But I mean, whatever's happening, the parents don't even go out anymore for the searches, do they? Like now they're just kind of like, let us know.
I don't even like.
Get a
What
live
would
stream.
happen now if they did find her? I think the thing is unless you get 100%, which you never really get, the 100%, this is definitely what happened, which I can't imagine you could even possibly get this much time has passed. What would the outcome ever be? Obviously, we're so unrelated. For them, it'd be great if they, for lack of a better term, it would be great if they found her remains, because then they could have a funeral
Bit of closure.
and all that kind of stuff for them. They can kind of get on with their lives knowing what's what, but...
You loved that show that you got me to watch a few episodes of, Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah.
I
Isn't
watched
that
on
just the
them.
weirdest, like, fucking blue balls shit you've ever watched in your life?
It's weird, isn't it?
But did you see there was an
watched the
episode
Alien
about
one.
a girl that went missing, and because of that show, they
They
found
found
her.
her? Yeah,
Oh,
they
no.
found her.
Years later,
Yeah.
someone watched the show and rang the tip line and was like, "Oh, I'm fairly sure I know this person,"
Yeah.
and it is the same girl. I don't think I watched the episode.
I think
Oh, no way.
I think what I'd like to think is that maybe she's out there just living unaware. She's not got those parents anymore, and maybe she did get abducted, but maybe she's like just living.
You
I
know,
like
the
to
only-
think she's happy.
Yeah,
the only thing
doubt
that, the
it.
only
You'd
thing that
know, right?
Yeah, the only thing that throws me with that is that
Dying right.
distinctive thing she's got in her eye. Is
Yeah, but that
very
can
rare.
fade over time.
Is it?
Yeah. That can fade over time.
Either way, it's not looking great, is it?
it's not
To be
looking
fair?
great. No.
Yeah, parents
Well.
did it.
Yeah, I reckon so. I always had a theory.
No, which doesn't mean she's not in the reservoir. It just means
No.
they put her.
I always had a theory that because they were GPs, isn't it? And
Yeah.
didn't they say they sedated the kids when they went out so that they'd sleep through the night? I've got a theory.
Oh, really?
They gave her a
Gave her
bit
too
too
much.
one night.
Yeah, you know how it is when you're
maybe
on a
she's
party.
fallen out of bed, banged her head on them tiled floors that you get in them apartments.
Yeah, maybe she just didn't
abroad.
wake up from.
Well, but they said they
over
found
sedation.
traces of blood in the apartment.
Yeah,
and
I
stuff.
think she's.
I think it was just a
Well, that's-
terrible accident that they
Yeah.
panicked and
And
tried
that's the
to
thing
cover
as well,
yeah.
is that there's quite a lot of... I know that's how Jimi Hendrix died. That's how Michael Jackson died. And I think... is it Phil Lynott, the guy from Thin Lizzy?
yeah.
And someone else that, like, if you take loads of them, your body tries to throw them up and you choke on your own sick because you're not waking up and coughing it out.
But
Yeah.
she's
Grim.
3 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it wouldn't have took much, would it?
No.
Yeah.
bleak, innit?
Yeah. But also, I think there's a step between, oh my God, our daughter's died, oh my God, we might be at fault, to then I'm being involved in a gigantic cover-up.
You panic.
Also,
don't you?
getting all
Yeah.
of those people to join it as well. All those people that were at dinner and convincing them that, she's gone missing.
I don't think that's necessarily true though, because I think the first point that you made there is I think people can act quite irrationally when they're put in a position like that. They panic
like
and
fight
they're
or
not
flight
thinking
kind of thing.
straight. But also in the timeline of events, it was like one of the friends popped into their room to check on things, but they didn't really look into the room. They just went, yeah, it all seems fine, and came back. Then someone else went and checked on the room, said everything was fine. Then they came back. When they finally got back themselves, 3 hours later, is when they were like, none of the friends were there. The two of them got back to the room and went, oh, she's not there anymore. And if they're your friends, you are going to be more inclined to believe them if they go, the window was open, someone's nicked our child. Like you're not going to immediately go, are you
Or
sure?
did they?
Are you sure? Are you sure you didn't just do something? So you probably it wouldn't.
Yeah,
take
but how
much
do
to
you hide a
convince them.
body in that time?
But this was
Well,
the thing in the documentary, innit? They found blood in the apartment, and then the sniffer dogs found
car.
blood in the boot of their rental car as well.
Yeah, true.
And that was her blood.
They couldn't confirm, just that it was traces of human blood in the apartment and in the car.
I know dogs can be trained very well though, but also like
Yeah,
I've bled in a car before.
yeah,
And I'll tell you why.
and that
I've
was
bled in a
the,
car.
and that was the thing. And they were like, it could be anyone. It's a rental car. It could have been the previous user
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's the reason that nothing's ever going to come from it, because it's all very circumstantial evidence. And also, I watched a show the other week. They've just put it on Netflix called Inside Man. It was like a BBC.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna start
drama.
that.
And that's all to do with why good, rational people do bad things. It's all to be like, they basically say like anyone's a murderer. You just need to catch them on a bad day with the right reason.
Isn't that the whole? What is it? Breaking Down or Falling Down? That film where I can't remember his name. Is he goes on a rampage
Michael
with a
Douglas.
shotgun? That's it, Michael Douglas. Yeah.
And it's just because it's just like
It's
everything
just
keeps getting on top of him.
And it just gets to the point.
We all have days like that, don't we?
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
I said to you, innit? I'll come off the tube. Someone gets to the fucking exit gate and they haven't got their card out ready to swipe. I want to punch them in the back of the neck.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Tourists,
Yeah, it's too much.
whenever you have to go through Central and they're just everywhere and they just stop and you're like,
Yeah, Piccadilly
Pivoting on the
Circus.
spot with their phone.
Yeah.
out. Fucking bastard.
We've
Just
all
a
been
market.
lost, guys. Chill out.
not allowed to be lost in London. It's a high tempo
I mean, I
city.
drive. You can't really. None of this shit bothers me.
How'd you watch so much
in the
TikTok, man?
Amica.
In
While he's
bed
driving.
at
Yeah,
4
You
a.m.
need to sleep more, man. You need to sleep.
Do you use the? Because I used to do that a lot. Stay up until like 4 a.m. because I can't sleep. But it's because I'm on my phone. Do you change the True Tone thing?
Oh, I've done that.
So you go swipe down from the top right, press and hold on the.
I'm a big fan of
brightness
blue
thing.
light, actually.
That's probably why you can't fucking sleep, mate.
Your brain's not.
Do you think it frazzles my brain?
Probably frazzling your
actually from
retina as
I'll
well.
literally be lying there sometimes and be like, oh my god, it's 1 o'clock. Turn the blue light thing down, and within 20 minutes, I'm asleep.
That's how I fall asleep.
How do I do it?
So you go onto your, when you swipe down from the top right to do all your
Yeah.
menu stuff.
For anyone listening,
press
he's
and hold-
swiping down, he's pressing and holding.
There's also a
Press and
setting-
hold the dimmer for
dimmer.
your brightness, and then it'll come up at the bottom. Click True Tone or something like that.
True tone
It should
on.
be like a circle, yeah, and it will change. Press the left one,
That one.
yeah, and see the color temperature will change.
Right,
the
but it
colour
still says
temperature
true
change?
tone on.
Okay.
Should we show you? I'll show you after.
Yeah.
Because there's a setting. There's a setting. there's a-
Welcome to the iPhone settings podcast.
but mine's got a setting that does it every night at 10 o'clock. It
you can time
changes
it,
to it.
yeah. That's what he's been. So his body's been waiting for that for years, and he turns out
My man's retina's a
Turns into a fucking gadget program.
becomes the groundhog.
Should we do our topical news segment? Rolf Harris is dead.
Yeah.
Legendary entertainer.
Big,
Will
shift,
he-
big shifts in the noncing world. One gets
Yeah.
relegated, another one gets promoted.
Yeah, it's not great.
Do you think he'll
It's
be
not looking
remembered
good.
for his good work though over his bad
Absolutely
work?
not.
So his
What, two
achievements
little
don't.
boys?
His
There was a-
achievements don't outweigh
There
his.
was a really bleak article today about his death, and it said he said years and years and years ago that his biggest fear is to not be loved, and it seems as though his biggest fear has come true because he's ruined his own legacy. And I was like, oh, that's cruel from Sky News.
Yeah, but it's weird though for someone to have a legacy for just being so shit.
Yeah, he was just a glorified children's TV entertainer.
Yeah.
Essentially.
But he used to go.
He invented the wobble board. Apparently, it's an old Aboriginal.
I was going to say,
instrument.
So they culturally appropriated a wobble board.
Yeah, but
Good one.
he brought it to the UK.
That's why I liked it. It's essentially colonialisation.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
reverse.
put it in a
Yeah.
museum.
Oh yeah, he was Aussie, wasn't he?
His family, his parents were Welsh, though.
He drew the Queen, didn't he?
He did draw the
Yeah,
Queen.
drew a 80th birthday portrait or something,
That's mad, isn't it?
and then he got his
Um,
CBE or something
Yeah.
stripped off him. How long did he was in prison now? Right?
How did he
He had
die?
a 7-year sentence. He served 3.
Was he in the house arrest or anything like that after?
Nah, he died. He died 15 days ago.
Really? But they just didn't tell him anymore.
The death certificate just came out, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's dead." And then his family put a statement out going, "Yeah, he died."
What did they say? Like, we're gonna miss him.
Why'd you have to put? Why'd you have to make it public? Why can't?
I think it might go
Well,
on the records, public records.
That's the thing. Like, you don't. But the news is obviously going to be all over it, isn't it?
How do they know?
You know what? On
Who's
the
going? I wonder what Rolf Harris is up to.
You know,
No,
on-
you know,
on
there's
the-
someone at a like news company that just has like a macro or something set up.
Yeah.
That checks this kind of shit every single day.
You know, on the death
Really?
records,
Definitely.
You know, on the death records as well, where it says like you have like your profession, so it'll be like musician and whatever. His just says paedophile.
Does
I'm
it?
not even joking.
You're
It's like
lying.
everything he did, and then he died, and it just says Rolf Harris paedophile.
But a professional
Professional
paedophile.
paedophile.
Yeah. There's levels to this shit,
There is. He was best friends with Jimmy Savile.
wasn't it?
So was Charles though, and you lot said that that's okay.
Yeah.
Uslot said that was okay.
These two.
Well,
I didn't say it was okay.
We
I
never
just-
said it was okay that it was a
I don't
nonce.
remember this episode.
We said that Jimmy was good at pulling the wool over people's eyes.
Oh, but what about Ralph?
Nah,
Well,
but, yeah, but they were definitely in cahoots.
I mean, I
swapping
don't know what
stories.
the evidence against him was, but
Rolf.
yeah,
I mean, he looks.
Numerous testimonies.
yeah. And I'm not saying he's innocent, but
He's just had that look
shouldn't
about
everyone
him.
that's friends with or that's like having private parties with Jimmy should be a bit sus now?
Yeah, probably.
There's a lot of weird shit going on, I think, in entertainment industries though, because there's a lot of like ego. Like I've heard stories of people, not like noncing, but I've heard stories of people that are like absolute rampant coke fiends.
Oh yeah.
But like to a level where it's like, how the fuck are they even functioning on set every day?
Watch
And
John
you-
Mulaney's
and, like-
new special.
Ain't
Like
that-
not like weekend parties and things like that.
It's
but
a
like,
thing to stay awake,
all
isn't
the
it?
time.
Yeah, but genuinely, watch John Mulaney's new special. He talks about his intervention that ultimately saved him, but he also tells a story of like buying a brand new Rolex and then within a matter of days pawning that Rolex to get money for drugs.
Mad, isn't it?
And it's
But
like,
selling it for a 50% discount.
yeah, it's mad. It is mental.
Should have just stuck a quid on the virtual horses.
Yeah, it should have.
Should have. Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's always a winner, that.
I think the entertainment industry. I think it is.
Who's next?
Well, there's the guy who outed Savile.
We know
as-
who's next, because who's next is currently playing out.
Yeah.
with
Oh,
Big
I
Phil.
think that's already done, isn't it? Oh, Scullyfield.
It's about whether it becomes a thing or not. I think what's more interesting is not more interesting. Obviously, people that do illegal things, I want them to get done. Beside the point. But what I want to know what the conversations were internally when like Holly Willoughby's like, I ain't fucking going down with you, because there would have been a meeting or even like a text message between
Or an
the two of them.
intervention.
Yeah,
But, I mean, they did this whole thing today about a thank you to him.
hers was short.
Oh, yeah.
And do you see the thing on the TV today with Alison Hammond?
Ali-
where it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's like he's not dead.
Yeah.
Like, they had a picture of him on screen as well. Like we weren't
given-
going to see him
They've
again.
given Holly 2 weeks off as well, haven't they? So
Yeah.
I think it's like you lay low while it all.
Apparently,
runs.
is she a bit of a dick as well?
I don't know.
I think
That's what I've heard.
this reminds me of that thing from Gogglebox where it's like everyone loves a bad boy, yes, but not a terrorist.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, well, yeah, she might be a dickhead, but she's not a paedophile.
It
No,
also,
I'm just saying in general. I'm not defending that.
It's
I'm just saying, like, is she next?
King Philip, she's the problem.
it's also very British, isn't it? That he's now seemingly being done for grooming and an abusive position of power. His brother got sentenced as being a paedophile, and the card that toppled the whole house of cards was him skipping the queue for the
Yeah.
Queen's funeral. That,
Yeah.
that was when the British went, I don't think this guy's as nice as he makes out, and they've gone, actually, now that you mention it, we've got some shit on this guy. We've just been
Well, he
waiting.
came out as gay as well before all of that.
Yeah, but apparently that was damage control as
Yeah,
well.
that was massively
because
like,
the story
um,
of his affair was going to come out.
It was like the whole Kevin Spacey thing when he comes out as gay, and everyone's just like, no, you don't just get to fucking do that because you've been.
But where do you stand on?
What is it the same case, or did something new come out?
So it's to do
Same
with
thing, isn't it?
The 16-year-old that he hired,
Yeah.
that he knew since he was 11.
But you know what I genuinely think this
Allegedly.
is? Yeah.
No
What I
one's-
genuinely
no one's
think this is,
right,
I would be surprised if it came out that he was a nonce. What I think it more likely is this was like a family that he was like adjacent to, like a kid of like a somewhat friend. And
Wasn't
then when
he
the kid
part
He was
of
the-
he was part of a theatre group.
Yeah.
that
yeah,
he
like
was
he'd have
an
been
ambassador
around, like
for.
he'd have been around it. But I reckon it was just one of them things where it's like, I know the family, that's the kid, and I reckon when the kid turned 16, they'd have been like, oh, he wants to get into television. Can you help him get a job? And he's gone, yeah, I'll get him a job as a runner. And then from there, it's more of an abuse of a position of power to kind of.
Yeah, the question is, where did it start? I mean, I know people, and there are plenty of people in the industry where it's like, my uncle or my mum's friend works in this department or whatever, or so and so came to my school when I was a kid, and his assistant gave me her, and I did my work experience. That's all it is. Like once,
And it's when a story becomes convenient, isn't it, as well? And like,
No, but it's the whole fact that he like left and stuff as well, isn't it? The kid left.
yeah, but sometimes your position just becomes untenable. You can't.
No, they had beef. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
so he claimed that Schofield like fucked him over. But
What desk?
Oh, dear.
it was actually a bureau.
The chair broke, actually.
I only got rid of the chair, though. He just ditched
Yeah, I got
it.
it for cheap, man.
So much evidence.
But where do you
Left
stand?
it by a bus stop outside the This Morning studios. But leave it with loose
So a
women.
bargain's a bargain.
I think the
right?
problem
just
is
have to
with a
give it
lot of
wipe
this
down.
stuff, though, is like some of it is it's borderline, isn't it? And it's like, is
Some of
something
it's not
illegal,
illegal, but
or is it frowned upon
inappropriate,
or
yeah.
inappropriate? And someone
This
gets
is coming back
cancelled.
to like episode 2 of this podcast. Just don't do the maths.
Don't
innit?
do the maths.
No, you
if-
got to do the maths.
Borderline is never a great term to use.
No
with
one wants to be a
anything,
borderline
really, is it?
paedophile.
No.
Also, I don't think a grown man who's not
mean-
related to a child or knows the family personally, like, should be out with a 11-year-old or a 16-year-old. Those two should not be friends.
It's the argument that girls say about there are no common interests between a 15-year-old girl and a 35-year-old man.
But people give Leo DiCaprio shit for being like 50 and going out with girls that are in their early 20s.
He's never dated anyone over the age of 25.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
it's like
he's
for the-
just not
and it-
doing the maths. That's cool.
No, but that's what I'm saying. People give him shit for being like, what have you got in common with these girls? What has Philip got in common with a 16-year-old?
Yeah.
You know, cutting about in Franco Manca. Like, no, thank you. What are you chatting about?
What is weird is
Why do pedophiles love pizza?
Cheap, innit?
yeah.
Pizza Express, Franco.
Everyone loves
Because
pizza.
kids love pizza.
What I think's wild about the whole thing is maybe too much of a big brain separate the issue kind of thing, is how much excitement particularly Brits get about some mad shit happening. Like, we're all like frothing at the fucking gash about weird kind of phrase, sorry. But of like
Frothing at the gash.
because of the
Philip
idea.
wouldn't be interested in that.
Yeah, because of
It's a great fucking...
because of the
Jay
idea
from in
that
between us.
it's like, a new paedophile's dropped. We're like fucking hyped for
No,
it.
but I mean, we knew
It's
this
like a new
one.
pair
I
of
just weren't
trainers.
expecting it. I thought he just got away with it.
No, but
You know
isn't
what I mean?
the next big one?
Got a countdown on a website.
Yeah, the paedophile 1 into the draw. The paedophile 155s.
Everyone's on Ticketmaster at 9 o'clock. Get tickets.
The next one though is the guy who outed Savile has said, hasn't he? He's got dossiers of evidence
got heat.
against a guy who is a verified British television legend. And he's-
Eamon
and he-
Holmes.
Michael McIntyre.
But he said it's the same issue that he had with this guy.
I'm
Claims,
going to get sued at the end of
Yeah,
this
man,
episode.
no, because I know the name of that. Everyone says like this is who it's going to be.
Oh, is it?
Well, I don't know if you can
After
just
the-
say
after
it.
we
innit?
hit-
I was-
Can't we just
we'll say
bleep it?
Yeah, can you bleep it later?
But,
I'll bleep it,
But,
yeah,
but
I'll bleep
so,
it.
so he was
You have my
basically
word.
saying
So who
that,
is it?
like he knew about Savile before it all came out, but he couldn't get
So
clearance
who was
to put
it?
any
We're
of
going
it.
to bleep
Are
it.
you all right? With
See what I mean? Frothing at the gas.
yeah, so he loves nonce chat. So his whole thing is he could have outed Savile when he was alive, but he wasn't allowed to. And he said, "I'm facing the same struggle with this one as well." So he's basically like, once this cunt dies, it will probably be the same story. And apparently, all the speculation is that.
Fuck
Really?
off.
Mm,
And it'll be a once he's dead.
yeah,
He
yeah.
lives near me.
Yeah, go ask him.
I passed his house on the way here.
Tip
on the
him
way
off.
here.
Yeah.
Shall I go see him? But you
I don't know
know,
why you've looked straight at me like we're gonna turn up.
you and Hans.
But apparently, it's just like it's so.
I've got to beep so much.
yeah.
We just said so many things that easily loop back to that.
Just shouting names as
Yeah.
well, by the way, beforehand. You went with Michael McIntyre.
Also, Eamon Holmes, if you could bleep that one as well.
Right, no, but if you've seen Eamon Holmes, he's fuming today.
Well, because he got essentially kicked off this morning. Him and Ruth didn't they? For basically just being like, it's giving the whole whatever her name was, but Courtney Love, when she got interviewed. Oh, what advice would you give to a young woman moving to Hollywood? If Harvey Weinstein invites you to a party, don't go.
Yeah.
Like all of these kind of people have said shit for ages.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like subtle hints.
Yeah. It's like that funny Savile documentary that the Louis Theroux one, because that's what's wild. The Louis Theroux one,
The gag rate was impressive in that.
Yeah, from the
blooper
kids.
reel. God, the outtakes on that are unreal. Play some Benny Hill music and he's just noncing around.
Yeah, it's
But the
fucking-
Louis Theroux one, when he goes back and like all the stuff that you thought was weird and kooky the first time on the revisit, you can kind of see the sadness in Louis Theroux's eyes when he's just like, that's fucking noncy and weird. And like, I just thought he was kooky and this strange
about-
old man, but he basically like dangles it in front of everyone.
But that's what he made it with his power, didn't he?
Yeah,
Maybe
he loved it, didn't he?
That's
Yeah.
what Rolf
Yeah.
Harris did as well. Though. They
Yeah.
were talking about it in the article. They were saying the dates that we've now got for when he was convicted of all of these crimes. He reached out to the NSPCC and wrote and recorded a song that was saying "Children just say no," and they were like, "This is what they do. They rub it in your face and go, you're never going to catch me."
Yeah,
You
it's
don't
like
know
a
what I'm doing."
fucking
Mad.
narcissistic fucking way of going about your business, but
Mad
it's
shit,
effective. You can't deny
Well,
that it's been effective
Savile-
because they
the
do all
Savile-
this shit and then they die and they don't even see justice, really, do they?
The Savile strategy was genius in hindsight, in that sense of like, if you make yourself as quirky and mental, like if you create that persona that's just like, I'm a bit fucking off the wall, then it's only in hindsight that you look at some of the shit he was coming out with and go, oh, that's actually quite menacing. Whereas at the time, you just go, this bloke's just a bit fucking mental.
About
isn't
do you reckon he's
No, he's too nice.
he? Apparently,
Delete that one as well.
I've met him. He's a nice bloke. Apparently, he's just an absolute pants man. Like he's just been putting it about for years. You know.
oh, is he? Cool.
Yeah. But he's a nice.
Cut
bloke.
that.
I'll bleep it. I'm just going to have to really pay attention.
Esteemed children's author. How dare you?
I could just throw any name out at this point.
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
I was at a wedding a couple of weeks ago, and at the end of the night, everyone was chanting one more song. What's the worst possible song you could play in a room of early 30s and 20-year-olds who aren't quite pissed enough to let anything fly at the end of a wedding? You've got the room in your hands, it's one more song.
What song wouldn't I play?
What's the speak like on what we were just on? Guess what you fucking played?
Two Little Boys or what was it called?
That's the first thing I went for. Timey Kangaroo Downs or something.
Gary Glitter.
No, I actually said the following day, I maybe would have let Gary Glitter pass for a split second. R. Kelly, Ignition. And immediately...
Oh, banger though, isn't it?
Great tune, that.
Yeah, but it's just like enough.
I mean, I think
Enough.
that's a pass.
I think that's a great tune.
Yeah.
I've said this before.
He lost the room. Dance floor
did it?
cleared.
Really?
I've never watched the Michael Jackson documentary because in my mind I'm like, yeah, he probably did it, but I'm still going to listen to his tunes because they're fucking bangers. So
That is
I'm
as
not,
well,
I'm not going
when-
to watch the
yeah.
documentary and ruin it for myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's tricky as well because like how big
cleared
do you
the
have to
dance
become?
floor.
Yeah, because everyone's just a bit like, you know when it's one of those things where like a couple of people are like, oh, nah, we ain't doing this. And then everyone's kind of like, yeah, we probably...
I'd have been
You get made
two-stepping.
aware.
I'd have been
dramatic,
I'd have been
innit?
all over it.
I backed it though. I was like, this is a bit much.
Would you rather? Yeah.
I've seen the first 2 episodes of that documentary, and I was like, you know what, I've seen enough.
I watched all of it. It was horrible,
Yeah.
and that's why I don't want to watch the Michael one.
Yeah, I listened to because that was my limit where like I was doing the whole Idaho thing, and
Yeah.
then shouldn't refer to it as doing the whole Idaho thing, should I?
It
But I
was
listening-
doing the whole
I was
Idaho
listening-
thing.
Yeah, I was listening to what is it, My Favorite Murder, and I listened to the Ian Watkins one. I got about 30 minutes in. I was like, actually,
Yeah, but that's next level.
fucking
I
grim.
can't deal with
Yeah.
proper nonsense though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I am fascinated with true crime. I like the fact that in those glasses you're fascinated with it. You should have been on the dance floor doing the Dharma dance from the show. Just like that.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that.
You ain't seen Jeffrey Dahmer?
No, well,
really good, man.
I read.
Do you think
A couple
he
of
does
books
look
about
a bit Dahmerish, doesn't he?
This is going very well.
It's like a chubby Dahmer.
no,
Chubby. No,
Yeah, because he was really skinny. You're not really. skinny.
he was fucking built.
Yeah, he was.
Guy
stacked,
was
man.
huge.
He was like 6'3".
Yeah.
like brick shit out
There's this really interesting.
What?
in real life. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like
No,
high
I'm
school
talking about in the
athlete.
show.
Yeah, but in the show he was
He
still
wasn't
like
stacked, was he?
He was still.
He was
built.
very athletic. He was like American footballer build, like running back build.
Yeah.
All right, look, I used
He
to
was
play
like
American
all American. They'd refer to it like super.
Really?
athletic, Yeah.
All right, cool. All right.
Yeah, no, he wasn't
was-
linebacker. He was running back.
He was still a skinnier you.
Still a lot skinnier than me.
I just want to take your picture. You know what I mean?
Say
it's
that.
a good
say
show.
that. Let me hear you say that.
Absolutely not.
We'll bleep it. We'll bleep it.
Paraded me out to do Jeffrey Dahmer impressions.
It's a good show, though. It's a good show.
I love how you dress like you're on the run, like you're in disguise.
It's because I haven't cut my hair I was at my girlfriend's last night. Basically, I did the Hackney Half and haven't been able to walk for 2 days. So I stayed at my girlfriend's for like the past 2 days. I haven't shaved my head. I haven't shaved my... Usually I have a mustache in these glasses. And I tell you what, last summer, one of the jobs I had to scout children's playgrounds. And when I tell you I was at those playgrounds at 4 in the fucking morning...
There's a time to do that.
What, trying to get the perfect vantage point?
And that's when I bumped into Rolf and I was like, oh, mate, how's it going?
Well, I tell you, I set up early.
Things I can tell you about swings, I tell you what. But I was there so early to make sure like no one was even thinking about the school run. I didn't want to be even...
Would you
wasn't
take
even the
pictures
kids.
and stuff?
I have to take pictures. You take pictures of everything and like, because it's...
Was it winter or summer?
Summer.
Oh, okay.
What
you
if
weren't
they're
in a
like-
As soon as the
long
sun
coat
came
or
up, I was
anything?
like, bam.
Or if they're like, we want to see how it looks with kids playing.
I'd be like, no chance.
The
easiest thing with kids as well is that
That's not a good sentence to start with.
don't always say no. Bleep that, please.
my following sentence was also you can't just shoot kids. Like, so if you're in a public place, the only time that the public really can just turn around and be like, you can't film here is if there's kids around.
Yeah, do you not think it's mad that like in our childhood before this all came in, like people used to turn up to like remember when you used to go like have swimming days and swimming races and stuff, and like uncles and that and aunties and parents would turn up taking photos of the kids from the viewing platform. Now they're like, nah, you're not allowed. We used to have, when we went swimming with my school, there'd just be this one guy that always sat in like the viewing chairs, like reading a paper, but no one knew who he was. My mum was just sitting there, just watching kids swimming in their little speedos, getting bricks out.
Mate, we used to do wild shit at our school, like for charity. We'd just do like wear your fucking pajamas to school day, pants to poverty, where they wore pants over
on the outside
on the outside of trousers. Fucking nonce came up with that.
Nah.
Yeah.
That's
Why?
bad, isn't it?
They don't get turned on by pants, do they? It's what's
What about like?
under all of that.
I know, but it's like giving a bit of a preview, isn't it? Essentially.
Is it?
What? So you think that's all right?
You think they jack off to Superman?
So you think it's okay for a child to wear
Superboy.
pants outside of their trousers
Small
and then
Bill.
walk around school all day with them on?
I mean,
You know
It's a
what?
bit weird. It's a bit weird.
You know what?
for
You know-
charity.
That's all right, Jimmy.
It's for charity.
Do you know what it is yet?
With
That's
his
the
fucking
problem.
balls.
Yes.
I don't understand what's noncy about that.
You know what I'm most
That's
fan-
like going to the supermarket and seeing pants on display.
No.
But there's not a child inside.
What's a
them in
fucking child
Sainsbury's.
attached to those
Yeah,
pants?
but with jeans on, trousers on, and then pants on.
George
top.
isn't in Asda in the pants.
I don't understand.
No, that's fucking nonsense.
If you saw Beyonce, wearing leggings and a thong on top, would that turn you on?
Beyonce's fucking 45.
Yeah, but she's hot, is what I'm saying. That's what you. Let's say you're into that. All right, pick a superstar you're in love with.
Eminem.
If you saw Eminem do pants for poverty, would you be bricked up, Jason?
I'd just be a bit freaked out, to be honest. But we're talking about a child here.
Yeah, and I'm talking about what might turn you on. Would it turn you on to see the girl you like wearing pants over her?
It's an odd tangent.
No, it wouldn't. I don't think.
Why is it turning on a paedophile to see a kid in pants over his clothes?
What are you
How are you trying to justify
Are
it?
you defending the paedophiles? I don't know whose
In
side
defence
you're
of
on
the
in this.
pedo.
I'm not
I didn't have
defending it,
Raj
I'm
bringing
saying
back
it's-
pants for poverty on
I
my
don't
bingo
think
card.
that's
It's wild.
created by a paedophile.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Of course you can.
What were you... when Mike was talking about R. Kelly, you said, okay, would you rather? Because Mike... I'm fascinated as to where you were going with it.
Isn't that stuck in your
I
head?
couldn't work out if I was trying to work out in my head how to. No, because it doesn't make sense. So that's why I bailed on it.
No, we're here now, though.
No, because the
Just
answer's
stumble
obvious.
through it.
Okay, no, let's find out.
It was like, would you rather have a successful career
Get found out.
And
and then
done.
get found out for something criminal? Doesn't have to be nonsense.
Okay.
And you did it.
We're going to assume for the room, let's play it as if none of us are nonces. We are
No,
not.
why
none of us are
are we
nonces.
assuming that?
No, but
None
in
of
this
us are
storyline-
nonsense.
And it absolutely,
There is no
has
level
to
of
be.
success that would make it okay for me to, in my
No, the
50s, get
crime
done for
isn't-
being a paedophile.
Yeah.
The
I think
crime
we're all-
isn't nonsense.
I think we all look a bit noncy.
It
Like,
has
there's a
to be
noncy
noncy.
lineup. He's got his salmon top. You've got your full trackie on. You've got like a,
These shorts get short.
and I've
so I
got
keep
striped
pulling them
pants
down.
on. We all look a little bit
No,
noncy
it has
today.
to be nonsense. Because otherwise,
I'm
you
not
could.
backing that.
Otherwise, you could be like, what if you had a successful music career and then got found out for like you got pulled up on a RICO charge?
No,
that's just a lot. That's just young thug.
No, it could just.
It has to be nonsense.
No. It could be just being a creep.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be something
like James Franco, for example.
Yeah.
Oh, do I need to bleep him out? Is he a creep?
Weird
yeah,
stuff.
Oh yeah, he got
I've seen
shit
the
came out.
Instagram DMs and the Snapchat
Yeah,
DMs.
So would you rather? And I can't work this question out. I tried to do it. That's why I bailed on it. Would you rather have a successful career and it fail?
I think I potentially have a decent example.
And it failed, but you're because you got caught out. You get caught out, and that's all you're known for after.
Kind of like Michael Barrymore, essentially.
Yes, or
although I kind of believe that he
what's
was
the
involved
opposite
in
of that?
Guy dying.
Yeah, so it's basically would you rather have you made it and then it
legacy,
was
isn't it?
taken away because of something that you were connected to but not proven of, so Michael Barrymore, or you categorically proven of doing something like R. Kelly, so you were a superstar but ruined your legacy.
Yeah. Would you rather be Michael Barrymore or R. Kelly?
I mean, I don't
Right
think
now, probably Michael Barrymore because R. Kelly's never going to leave prison.
Mm.
Although, he's doing some good shows in prison at the minute.
Is he?
Yeah.
I
So
think
that
I'd rather
album
just
was
be.
apparently fake as well.
Yeah, but he's like doing shows. I remember like it was like he's doing shows in his cell block for the people, and people are like, R. Kelly's still selling out shows. I'm like, yeah, well, they ain't got anything else to watch, have they? Where else are they going to go?
Yeah, it's not selling out. They're not
They've had
paying
to
to be-
cop tickets.
Yeah.
Also, does it really matter with AI? You could just.
That's why SAG and the WGA are striking and everything at the moment. Someone the other day was someone on Twitter put I wasn't expecting the robots to take over and they would write poetry and do paintings while we were all doing really boring jobs. I thought it was going to be the other way around.
Yeah.
Like you get them to do all the shit so we could paint and
Yeah,
Like
I
the-
saw
Well, that'd be the
it
next
was
thing,
like,
wouldn't it? AI nonsim.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I saw
That's
something
coming.
there as well. It was like, could we not have trained robots to get litter out of the oceans? Do they all have to be screenwriters?
Yeah, that's a good point, isn't it? Yeah, I never thought of it like that.
But like, just the app where it's like you can make it like pictures. Just makes. Have you seen that?
Mind Journey.
I think it might be called.
Yeah, when are
Wonder
these
or something.
robots going to fucking take some responsibility and start doing important shit? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We've got a climate to save. Fucking do some calculations, write some code,
We've
sort
already
it
done all the
out.
calculations. Just people don't give a shit. It's too far gone, isn't it? But
I think right. I had this great. I was on a train the other day, right, and it was delayed. I had an idea. What
you
they
guys are
should
really
do-
good at setting scenes. We've got dusk over here. You've got you on the waiting for the northern line as the sun.
First time on the Lizzie line.
you outside a playground.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with a massive camera with the old-fashioned
with the camera saying, "Sorry, I got the times wrong. Didn't realise it was British summertime."
Why are you dressed like a bush? Why are you in a ghillie suit?
Yeah.
Doing my best work in a ghillie suit.
So I'm on the train, and I thought, this is wrong. This is not how the train should run.
They shouldn't be delayed, no.
What they should do is it should be a continuous loop,
Train. Yeah.
What, you just jump on?
and it moves. It moves at a really slow pace.
Travelators.
Yeah, you
They go
just
across
jump
the
on,
entire-
jump off.
Yeah, but then it'd take ages to get anywhere.
Anywhere.
How?
Do you know what we massively
Really
overlook
how?
is how fucking
Alright, when it
fast the tube is.
Yeah.
When it's in the tunnel, it is booking it. It is flying. You,
would-
jump on that, your legs would go.
You'd be
Alright,
quicker to
so
fucking walk.
it slows down at the station, but no longer stops.
But then you're
But then you can't have a
halfway down a
conti-
tunnel
yeah,
and you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't have a continuous loop.
Yeah, like, have
going
you ever
there.
seen it when like you're on like the district or something, so it's not carriages, and you watch it as it goes through the tunnels? It is
Yeah.
throwing
Yeah.
itself about.
What
Yeah.
speed do you reckon the train goes at?
45, 50 mile an hour.
That it?
What? It's way faster than that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know, you'd be surprised at how fast 50 is in a tunnel.
Let's ask Siri. What speed does London Underground train?
They're all
go
different,
at?
aren't they? So I know that district lines are slowest.
Oh, sick! You just as I asked the question.
That's what I
man
thought,
added
yeah.
to it. What speed? Oh, fuck it.
Okay, we'll find out.
Go on,
It's
just
fine.
ask it.
60 miles per hour.
Okay. So I wasn't
Oh,
a million
fuck.
miles off.
It is quick though.
Oh no, that's overground.
Okay, I've got.
No
I,
way,
I,
the
had,
overground
I had a,
is so
I had a
slow.
follow-up question to your question about the legacy and nonsense and that. So
I thought that was a real low point. I thought we'd got away from
no,
Yeah.
no. What the way to draw Raj in is with conspiracy theories. So Do you think that a lot of this stuff comes back to the idea of like selling your soul to the devil for success?
I think that there may be a case for a lot of innocent people who didn't follow rules.
So you know what I mean.
I just love how you're posing there like a really esteemed like.
No, because this is a thing that people talk about.
Do you know when they go to like an expert like on a documentary? It's like, I actually
he's in
believe.
his tech fleece.
I have a belief that.
Listen,
He's always in a library for no reason. Just in a library.
Green screen I've got a plant behind me and everything.
I'm buying it. Do you know what I mean?
the
I'm buying
reason
it.
this comes up is because it's like the numbers of people who move to Hollywood every year to get a career in Hollywood is ridiculous. So it's like the minute percentage of people that actually make it. So previously, people were like, well, what is it that sets them apart? And there was a whole thing of like, you sell your soul to the devil.
Yeah.
The reality of it is you just do a lot of shit that you didn't want to do, like Weinstein and stuff like that.
To get ahead.
Yeah. But
I think he wanted to do it.
No, I
yeah,
think the
he
girl.
wanted to. He wanted to. But there's a whole thing in the
No, he
music.
kept doing it. He fucking hated it. Weinstein in tears. The girl's in tears. Everyone's crying. I'm sorry, I have to.
You've got the part anyway.
It's the Warner Brothers. They made me.
No, but there's a whole thing with like the Illuminati and Jay-Z and all that shit, and selling your soul to the devil to get by and stuff like that. Maybe that's what happened with R. Kells, isn't it?
I don't know that it's like. I feel like the second you get into like that kind of thinking, words like the Illuminati and all this mad, huge global Freemasons mad shit turns up. But there is definitely like a hierarchy, and there is like schmoo, especially in the entertainment industry. You know, you just look historically. There's a really great book called "You'll Never Eat Lunch in This Town Again." Can't remember who wrote it, but basically it's this woman in the 80s that wrote this tell-all about the 60s and 70s in the movie industry, because she went a bit mental, and then no one would work with her anymore. So she thought, "Fuck it, here's my book," and then they kind of buried the book. And it's one of those things where like, even if it's just schmoozing and shaking the right hands and being friends with the right people, there is all that. But there's definitely like, particularly in business, a conversation to be had about like befriending and knowing the right people and being in the right clubs. There's that club outside New York, isn't there? That's like, that has the big owl thing. Do you know about this? Surely you know about this. There's like this club that historically the wealthiest people in the US, like the old Rockefeller elites that live on the East Coast.
Oh, many wealthy
Long
in the
Island,
UK.
stuff like that.
It's back with something Grove in it.
Yeah.
Bohemian Grove.
Yeah.
But
And
it's
they
like
used to-
P.
they used to-
Diddy.
Is
You
that
know about
P.
P.
Diddy?
Diddy?
Yeah, he's a nonce, yeah.
Yeah,
Is he a
but
nonce as
he
well?
also would drug up-and-coming artists and then have pictures of them that he'd blackmail them with.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So did they bury this woman's book by basically going, she's mental anyway, so you can't believe a word she said?
It's exactly what happened with Rose McGowan
It's all-
with the whole Weinstein thing.
And it's
She's been saying it
also,
for about 10 years.
It's also what Chappelle spoke about when he did the bird paradigm. And he came back, it was like his first show back in Hollywood since the Chappelle show fiasco. And it was when Me Too was all going on. And it was basically him coming out and going like, I hate to be that guy, but I told you so. Like, I told you how horrible these people were. And he tells a story of leaving the Chappelle show because he didn't want to work on their terms anymore, and he realised he was just a commodity to them. And then they basically, he was like, I'm going to some retreat in South Africa to get away from it all for a bit. And then next day, his wife's ringing him going, they're saying you smoke crack in the papers.
It's mad, isn't
It's
it?
just to sully his reputation, to be like, don't listen to what he says.
There was clips. I remember when the whole Savile thing happened. There was clips of, is it Johnny Rotten? The guy.
Yeah.
He was on like Nevermind the Buzzcocks, and he made like a very particular on the nose joke about Jimmy Savile. And he's made comments in the past about the reason why he hates celebrity and hates that whole world. It's not about being a punk. It's just they're all absolutely vile.
Yeah, he did it on. It was on Buzzcocks, wasn't it, back in the day when he made the joke about why Savile's got a room that he lives in the hospital, innit?
Yeah.
And
everyone's
they were
like, "Oh, he's
never made it to air kind of thing.
Yeah. Or it's one of those that like, oh, it's just a Jimmy Savile's a weird guy kind of joke. But yeah,
It was pretty weird.
yeah, we've come a long way on this episode, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done
Really
I don't think we've done a 360. We've done a 90-degree turn and gone full steam ahead.
I think we've just span aimlessly.
Yeah.
We've kind of like we've aquaplaned on the M6.
Yeah.
M6 toll, so there's plenty of room to really rattle around.
Yeah, I want
But
to
would you
Google Bohemian
sell out for
Grove.
fame?
Not the way that them man have.
All right, what if it was like, do as we say or we'll kill your family?
Well, that doesn't really sound
You've
like
just upped
selling
the
out.
stakes, like you've just.
That doesn't really sound like selling out. That just sounds like they've got my family hostage.
Yeah, that sounds like pure blackmail.
I'm sorry. I've got to have a #1 record or you'll kill my family. I'm sorry.
Yeah, all right.
Can you imagine if they said that? Do
Do you mean it's more like, how badly do you want to have a #1 record? Kill your mum and you can have it. How old's my mum when this happens?
70.
Probably not. Nah.
Yeah, you'd be past it as well, to be fair.
Yeah, if she was ready, if she was ready for Dignitas.
Is that a dig?
Or ready.
Yeah, I mean,
Very
you
weird
didn't
thing.
see him singing at 50, did they?
Why not? Cliff Richard used to, and he was killing it.
Yeah, but he didn't start at 50.
Cliff Richard, another
I
one.
was
He's
just
came
about to
back.
say.
He's came back and he's actually
But
innocent.
there was nothing.
Yeah, because
there was
Rolf's
nothing
gone,
about
innit?
that.
There's space.
But
I actually back Cliff Richard and turn around and being like, if you guys are going to fucking raid my house, you better find something. And he took him to court, nailed the papers, everyone. He was just like, it was kind of like a, yes, I was, just because I was famous at the same time as them, doesn't mean you can just start brandishing.
Because he
everyone
knew what
as a nonce.
secret floorboard it was all under. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They did it.
he knew the house it was in, and it wasn't that one.
Weird.
yeah, shout out Cliff.
Yeah, Operation U Tree it became a very scattergun approach after a bit.
Yeah, I feel like there's still some branches to be explored on that tree, though.
True, yeah.
But was it only Jimmy and Rolf Harris that got
I think it was
caught at that?
particularly within the BBC at a certain period of time.
Jimmy's was the only big one that came from it. Rolf's was more of a Me Too thing.
Wasn't it
weren't
done post Jimmy? Wasn't it done in reaction to what happened with Jimmy
Yeah,
Savile?
It was all part of U-Tree, wasn't it?
Yeah, but U-Tree is what happened when that thing happened. He was looking into all the cover-ups in like the BBC during that period of time.
But Rolf didn't get done from U-Tree. They just dealt with it. His was a Me Too thing. It was loads of women from back in the day came out and gave statements. It all started with, there was a woman who was a waitress, I think, in a cafe around the corner from the old BBC studios, and she said that he was very handsy and he used to like grab her ass when she walked past, and he was notorious for being a bit grabby. And everyone was like, "Oh, piss off! It was just a different time. That's what people did." And then once she came out, loads of us came out and were like, "Oh no, it was full scale, pretty bad." But he wasn't through U-Tree. His was more of a Me Too.
I met him twice, you know.
Rolf Harris.
Yeah.
What? Are you okay? Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Did he blow your didgeridoo?
Yeah, he taught me everything I know, actually.
Yeah, no, I met him twice.
He kept saying, just never do the maths.
Yeah.
That's why I learned it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It was borderline.
It's been fun, Mike.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of work to do on this episode, mate.
So much beeping. I've only got like a day or like a night to do it.
Yeah.
My watch is dead. I just turned it and looked. It's just something quite sad about turning an Apple Watch and it does nothing.
It's a black screen.
Yeah.
Sad.
Special Brendan.
That's why I've not got mine on today. Dead.
I think what we need to do is get a format that steers us away from talking about nonsense so
Yes.
often. So for people who listen regularly, I know there's people, because you message me whenever we have an episode late and go, "Where is it?" Yeah, it's like it's me on it, like it's never going to be on time. But let us
I
know.
would really appreciate you taking because it's often
It's
because I'm doing a random day of work or probably should have edited the night before.
none of
but
us
I
are
was like, I'll get
particularly
to it.
organised people, any of us. But if you got any ideas of what you want us to talk about that isn't nonce related,
Topics are great.
yeah,
Topics are always good, even if it's just like a start-off topic or a kind of like...
Can't believe we're 22
But we've got one.
episodes in and we're discussing.
I can't believe we're having a live debrief.
But we've got to start off topic. Our launching off point is always who's the nonce this week, and then it goes from there.
Should we change the name to Nonce Watch?
Yeah, we'll get my old goalkeeper on. You know who you are.
Was he a nonce?
Please don't watch. Actually, yeah, my old goalkeeper got done for noncing.
Oh, fucking.
Yeah, none of us knew until long after we played with him. Yeah.
Wasn't a safe pair of hands, was he?
He wasn't a safe pair of hands. No, he was a shit goalkeeper as well. But yeah, you know,
Handsy, was he?
you got anything you want us to talk about? Send some stuff in, and we'll have a chat about it. You know, bit of fan interaction. I can't call you fans. You probably know most of you. But yeah, let us know. Thanks for coming in, Mark.
Thank you for
Much
having me.
appreciated.
Yeah.
I'll rock up every now and then.
Mike, the whole time I thought his name was Glenn as well. That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did you? Until today?
No, I knew, but because of your email, I was.
Yeah, it is confusing, isn't it,
Glenn
when
for
when people
ages.
have like like David, Jason, when they have
There
like
was nothing confusing about it though, because I made it very clear when you were like, "Are you going to send it to Glenn?" And I was like, "One, it's Glynn, and, and two, that's his surname." And then you were like, you stuck with it for quite some time.
Yeah, when I latch onto something, it's pretty.
That's fine. I find that happens though as you get like older and have a busier life, that you learn something wrong once and it takes a lot of time to shake that off.
That's why old people are so racist. But anyway, yeah, send us some stuff in if you want us to talk about it. We'll actually start posting some stuff again soon as well. So share that. That would be appreciated.
Such a negative end to the episode.
That's it.
All right.
But I feel like this. I quite I enjoyed that I was on this episode because I feel like this episode's been waiting to happen for a while, and I'd have been upset if you'd have wasted it on like a really interesting guest. I feel like now a lot of nonce watch is out the way.
Yes.
A lot of the conspiracy conversations are done and out the way, and now a normal podcast can start. Until like
This is the debrief that we needed.
Yeah.
That we didn't
Feel
know.
like
we
it's like
needed.
get it out of your system. Do you know what I mean? It's like going back to your ex one last time.
Right, so guys, carry on listening to the word on the streets.
Yeah,
but,
appreciate it.
Something big coming up soon is I'm going to do a spin-off podcast on my own called Nonce Watch. So tune in for that.
It's going to be like Spring Watch, but Billy Oddie's not going to be on it.
Nah, he's just Mike in a bush. So,
At a playground at 4 a.m.
thanks for listening.
Backfire. I
yeah.
did this for free.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And thanks for doing it. But yeah, we're going to get some more content out to share that because it will help us out. The faster you share content, the faster we grow, and the faster we'll charge you money on Patreon. So do it for yourselves. But yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for coming, Mike. I've been Joe. Who else would I have been?
I've been Jason. I felt like it was the end of a TV, kids TV program. That's
Good
why.
night from me.
That's
Good
why I
night
wanted
from
to do
me.
it. I thought that's how we're finishing this off.
Oh my
He's practicing
god.
for the TV.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I'm going to get some
I'm
kids
ready.
program soon.
I am ready. Do you know what it is yet? It's the end of this episode.
No
Right.
one's getting a kids show after this. No one's getting a kids show.
That's the only reason I've all these fleece, man. Right. Yeah. See you later. It's all right.
See you later. Bye.
Peace.
This has been The Word on the Streets. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.